Hey guys, Mr. V here. Welcome to our video series on shapes, measurements, area, volume, length, etc. Look, these videos are not going to be 100% perfect. I try to do that, can't do that. I spent hours on it. So I'm going to record all of these videos in one go and we're just going to work with it. Hopefully we'll get better at this as time goes along and we'll go from there. So these videos might be a little bit more on the casual side. They won't be perfect top notch, but hopefully they will do the job. So I hope you are going well at home. I hope that these videos might help those couple of you who are struggling a little bit. And yeah, please, if there's anything else that I can do that might make learning from home a little bit easier, do let me know, please. All right, in this video, we're gonna review perimeter and circumference, both topics you have learned in the past, so hopefully this is just a review. If it's not, that's okay, that's why we're doing this. So let's look at perimeter and circumference. Now, we're gonna do this in two parts. Feel free to watch one part at a time, if that suits you better. If you're comfortable just going through the whole thing in one go, that's fine too. That's up to you. Work however is comfortable for you. All right. Let's begin with perimeter. So, do you remember what perimeter means? So, perimeter. In fact, let's begin here by looking at the Greek root words. Looking at the original meanings of each word actually does help you understand what they actually do mean. So, peri means around or around the outside. It means the outer edges of something, in this case a shape. Meter means measurement. So Greek root words here, perimeter means the measurement around the outside. Now, of course, in math, that has a very specific meaning. So the measurement we're taking is the length. The length around the outside. Around the outside of what? Well, the outside of a shape. And that can really be any shape, but generally we mean one that has straight edges around the outside. Now, funny math notation, when we want to find the perimeter of something, and we can call that P, the notation we use is this sum of the sides. Right? So remember this funny looking E symbol, that means sum of, which just, it means add all of the sides. So in this case, to find the perimeter, we add all the side lengths. So let's look at an example. So here we have a random quadrilateral, so just four sides, straight sides, and we want to find the perimeter. Now, to find the perimeter, we are going to need to know some values. So let's say this side is 8 meters long, this side is 4 meters long, this side is 3 meters long, and this side is 10 meters long. Does it matter if your picture is perfect? Absolutely not. In fact, I think my 3 meter side is actually longer here than my 4 meter side. We're mathematicians, not artists. It doesn't actually matter. It's the numbers that matter in this case. So, how do we find the perimeter of that shape? Well, we use this rule. Perimeter equals sum of the sides. Now, I prefer writing my rules, even if they are very simple ones. So, perimeter equals sum of the sides. And in this case, the sides are 3, 8, 4, and 10. So, sum of the sides means we need to add all of those. So, we are going to do 3 plus 8 plus 4 plus 10. Feel free to use your calculator here, although I'm really hoping that you can do this sort of question out of your head. And hopefully you will see very quickly that that is 25 meters. Please don't forget the units. The units are part of the answer. Make sense? I hope so. So that's example 1. I might call this E1. A slightly different take on this might be that you are given a shape. And again, I'll just draw a random shape here. We might be told a couple of the sides, like 5 meters, 8 meters, 4 meters, and then have left this blank side. And we might be asked to find x if the perimeter, so we're being given the perimeter here, if the perimeter is 19 meters. So it's kind of the reverse here. We know that all of the sides need to add up to 19 meters. Now, you could probably look at this and already solve it straight off your head, but we're mathematicians, we like being organized. So I'm still going to follow the same process of writing the rule, substituting in, and then we'll do whatever we need to do to solve it. So the rule is perimeter equals sum of the sides. And in this case, we know the perimeter. We know that they all need to add up to 19. Equals. So the sum of the sides, well, we have side 4, side 5, side 8, and side x. And so the question is, what does x need to be so that they all add up to 19? Simplifying this, 19 equals 4 plus 8 is 9, 9 plus 8 is, that's 17 plus x. Now how do we find what x is? We just subtract 17 from 19. So therefore, x equals 19 take 17, which gives us 2 meters. So x here should be 2 meters long to make that work out. That should be everything that you need to be able to do with perimeter of a simple shape. Now let's talk about circumference. So circumference is very particular to circles. So circumference, what does circumference mean? Well, again, we can look at these Latin and Greek root words. If we're looking at the first part, circum means around, kind of like peri in perimeter. But we have two root words here, circum, which is around, but circ means ring. So we're talking here around a ring, and in this case the ring is the outside of a circle, which is, kind of looks like a ring. Ference comes from the word that means carry. So circumference means to carry around a ring, which doesn't actually seem to relate very much, but hopefully you can see the link here. Circumference is the length around, what did I do here? There's no E after length. Length around the outside of a circle. So perimeter is the length around the outside of a shape, generally straight edges. Circumference is the length around the outside of a circle. So it's looking at a circle and it's going, okay, how long is it around the outside of that? Now in another video we can talk about why it ends up being this particular value, but the circumference of a circle is calculated as 2 pi times r, or 2 times pi times r. What is r, you ask? Well, r is the radius of the circle, which is the length from the center of the circle out to the edge. You may have also seen a slightly different version, which is c equals pi times d, where d is the diameter, which is from edge to edge of the circle. Does it actually matter which one you use? No, it doesn't. But in a lot of other problems, we use the radius. So it's probably a good idea to just start getting used to, let's use the radius. Just so that when you later on get into problems, you're already used to finding the radius and using that. So again, let's look at some examples here. Find the circumference. And there's really two situations you need to know about for finding the circumference. So A, we have some circle, and we're given the radius of that circle. Let's say it is 5 meters. How do we find the circumference of that circle? Well, our equation is circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. And in this case, the radius is 5, so it's 2 pi times 5. I tend to like putting these in brackets whenever I substitute, but brackets or no doesn't actually matter too much. So 2 pi times 5, and that is something that will stick on a calculator. And our calculator tells us that is 31.4 meters. So if we wanted to walk around the outside of this circle, we would be walking 31.4 meters. Now, what's the other version of this that you need to know? Well, quite obviously, I hope, we have a circle, and this time we're told the diameter. Let's say it's 20 centimeters. So 2 ways to go about that. We can either find the radius and then use that, or we can just use the rule C equals pi d. If we use C equals pi d, so circumference equals pi times diameter, that's going to be pi times 20. What is pi times 20? On our calculator, 3.14159 times 20, we get 62 let's round it to 8 centimeters. What if we do it the other way? So circumference equals 2 pi r. Well, what is radius? What is the radius of this circle? Well, if it's 20 from edge to edge, how far is it from the center to the edge? Well, it should be exactly half, right? So the radius of this circle is going to be half of 20, which would be 10. So we could also calculate this as, I should use the green pen here, as 2 pi times the radius, which is 10. And if you put 2 pi times 10 on your calculator, you will get exactly the same answer, 6.28 centimeters. Do we really care which way you go? No, we don't. But it is good practice to just use the radius version anyway, because it avoids mistakes later on. Okay, I hope that helps you understand perimeter and circumference. Please let me know if you have any other questions. Feel free to hit me up on our OneNote pages or on email or on Edmodo. And I will see you in the next video.